middle of a sea and pouring rain. A ship is threatened by criminals who have taken several people hostage. From the bottom of the sea, Aquaman appears while jumping on the ship. Taken with fear, Aquaman confronts them until they were muzzled, to the applause of the pirates. Aquaman meets a woman named Mara and fell in love. Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, marries Mara and has a son, Arthur Jr. He divides his life between the land, where he lives in his father Tom Curry's lighthouse, and fights crime in the sea, reigning as King of Atlantis. As King of Atlantis, Aquaman finds royal diplomatic and bureaucratic duties boring and always comes into conflict with the Atlantean Council, who are particularly opposed to his intention to bring Atlantis into contact with the surface world. One evening, Aquaman is with his father Tom Curry. Tom makes him understand that it would be necessary to have a second child. Tom Curry explains to Aquaman that although he understands that it is difficult for him to be an only child, he regrets not having had a second child. Aquaman tells him not to feel guilty, reminding him that he gets along well with his half-brother, Ocean Master. But Tom Curry insists that even though his relationship with Ocean Master isn't great, family remains sacred no matter the situation. As they want a drink, Tom Curry notices that Arthur Jr., Aquaman's son, is sending waves to the fish. Aquaman is amazed and says that this is making his brain spin. He explains to his son that they have a common power and that they are linked to the land and the ocean.
Pops is blowing my mind.
David Kane, aka Black Manta, continues to seek revenge on Aquaman and follows Marine's scientific research into an Atlantean tool that can make him stronger, called Atlantean Artifacts and Evil Black Triton. Her assistant, Stingray, tells her that she does not have the contact information for Dr. Stephen Shin, who's conducting research on Atlantean artifacts. Black Manta, irritated, takes one look at his armor and declares that one more day without spotting his armor is one more day for Aquaman.
Every day I don't fix my power suit is another day Aquaman gets to live.
He asks to check again, feeling that he is nearing the goal of finding the Atlantean tool. In the middle of nowhere, in the ice, Dr. Stephen Shin searches for the Atlantean tool under the orders of Black Manta. Discussing with his colleague about the signal found via a tabloid, the ice begins to shake, causing them to fall into a deep hole. Dr. Shin, curious, wanting to check some ice, is overcome with fear when it begins to split, letting a sea monster emerge, who catches Dr. Shin's colleague. In fear, he sends a signal to Black Manta. The latter and his team arrive at the scene of the incident, and Black Manta questions Dr. Shin about the event. Tormented, Dr. Shin tells him about the incident. Black Manta and Dr. Shin go to where the monster came from and decide to go to the bottom of the sea to find it. A curious team member is attacked by the sea monster, and the entire exploration team is subsequently attacked. Black Manta is eventually sent deep by the sea monster. Once in an Atlantean ruin beneath the Arctic ice, Black Manta finds a black trident that glows green. Curious, he takes the trident cut in two and converges them. After receiving an electric shock from the convergence of the tridents, Black Manta is possessed by the tool. A spirit speaks to him and promises him that if he helps him free himself, he will receive the power he desires to destroy Aquaman, his wife, his family, and his kingdom. Holding the trident in hand and being possessed, Dr. Shin asks him what's going on. 5 months later, global warming has worsened, with the surface climate subject to extreme weather conditions, and ocean acidification causing disease among marine populations. Due to these events, Aquaman, lying down with his son, is warned by his wife Mara of the events and that the High Council of the Atlanteans summons him because there is a new outbreak of plague. At a meeting of the High Council of Atlantis, Aquaman asks questions about this plague, and he is told that it is in the 9th hearth of Atlantis. The epidemic would have reached other kingdoms. Faced with the harm caused by this plague, All the members of the council believe that it is the Earthlings who are the cause. But Aquaman as king refuses to believe such accusations, preferring that his kingdom put its technology at the service of Earthlings to find the origin of this plague. He believes that the Atlanteans can no longer live in hiding forever and that it is time to act for the good of all. Somewhere in the Atlantic, Black Manta and his men are preparing to steal objects from Atlantis using Atlantean sea vessels. In the storehouse of orichalcum, which is a source of energy. Along the way, they will be intercepted by an aquatic animal which will warn the Atlanteans. While they steal, the Atlantean alarm will be triggered. Seeing the situation, Black Manta asks Stingray, his assistant, to initiate the emergency exfiltration. Dr. Shin will be amazed by the Atlantean world. Once the ship is detected, Stingray asks Dr. Shin to activate the sonic batteries, which he does. Stingray activates the ship's shield and asks to shoot at the kingdom of Atlantis. Thanks to the waves of the ship, it renders sterile all Atlantean weapons as well as the Atlanteans. Atlantis is attacked by Black Manta and his team, who take the kingdom's orichalcum reserves to power its ancient Atlantean machines restored by Dr. Shin. Warned, Atlanta, Aquaman's mother, attacks. Mera, in turn, joins in the dance to stop Black Manta using her water projection power. Wanting to deal a blow to Black Manta, the latter goes armed towards her, throwing her from a very distance and will be seriously injured. Wanting to finish him off, a weakened Mera, Aquaman throws him from far away with his Atlantean weapon. Aquaman warns Black Manta not to touch his wife Mera. The latter tells him, not only are you stealing the throne from your brother Ocean Master, but you are also stealing his wife Mera, and you should be ashamed. Dr. Shin, thanks to the signals, asks his entire team to quickly leave the scene because the entire Atlantean army wants to attack them. Following the incident of the attack on Atlantis by Black Manta and his team of Earthlings, the population of Atlantis begins to question the legitimacy of their king Aquaman, who is half Earthling, half aquatic, because the latter spent most of his time on land rather than in the aquatic world. Mera, Aquaman's wife, was seriously injured and comforted by Aquaman. Aquaman and his team are surprised to find that Black Manta has greatly enhanced his combat arsenal with his ultrasonic energy projection technology, which disrupts the nervous system. Aware of Black Manta's striking power, they decide to stop him before it is too late, especially since he has disappeared from Atlantean radars. Aquaman then suggests calling on his brother, Ocean Master, to help them find Black Manta, which makes the team uncomfortable because Ocean Master is dangerous and has already killed the king of Atlantis in the past. Despite this, Aquaman volunteers to go to Fisherman Territory, a top-secret underground prison where his brother is being held. Before leaving, King Nereus provides Aquaman with some weapons that will allow him to become invisible, allowing him to infiltrate the prison. Nereus warns Aquaman that the prison is guarded by a remnant group of fearsome, death-worshipping deserters who survived the drying up of the Sahara by feeding on blood. He also tells him that once he arrives there, he will find his brother Ocean Master in a weakened state, mistreated by the deserters. Aquaman then intervenes to save his brother. Wanting to bring his brother, Ocean Master resisted for a moment.
You cannot break me out!
Before giving in. Along the way, weakened Ocean Master stopped and asked Aquaman if he had brought any water. The latter told him that he had drunk everything on the way.
Did you bring water?
I drank it all the way here.
Together. They managed to escape from the underground. until arriving on Earth. Ocean, hyper-weakened, was drowned by the sea. And his strength returned at the same time, making him formidable to his pursuers. Having managed to neutralize them, he raised his hand in victory and thanks to his brother Ocean. On the way, Aquaman questions Black Manta's intentions during his attack on Atlantis. Ocean Master explained to him that the Black Manta he had once known was ruthless but not mindless, but that he was now unscrupulous in his actions. In the ancient orichalcum refinery where the pieces stolen from Atlantis are displayed, Black Manta congratulated Dr. Shin for successfully stealing these artifacts. However, Shin pointed out that these orichalcs could feed the entire planet. Black Manta then explained to him that these artifacts would be used to unleash almost unrivaled strength. Wishing to learn more about Black Manta's intentions, Aquaman and the Chained Ocean Master went to Kingfisher, a crime lord involved in various illegal trafficking, in order to extract information from him to locate Black Manta. Arriving there, Ocean Master asked Kingfisher where Black Manta was. Kingfisher responded that Black Manta no longer worked for him and that he was acting exclusively on his own behalf. Ocean Master insisted on knowing where Black Manta was hiding and offered favors, thanks to Aquaman's influence as King of Atlantis. However, Aquaman categorically refused to grant Kingfisher any favors, accusing the latter of having his hands covered in blood. Kingfisher, smiling, threatened Aquaman and Ocean Master that he would turn a blind eye to them.
Now, we have to blind it for you.
Realizing that they would not obtain information peacefully, Aquaman and Ocean Master went on the attack. Aquaman tortured Kingfisher until the latter revealed the location of Black Manta, a volcanic island in the South Pacific. Meanwhile, Black Manta communicated with an evil spirit named Kordax through a mirror who assured him that he would soon become more powerful than Aquaman. However, the spirit chastised him for attacking the Atlanteans too soon, claiming that the situation was turning against them. While communicating, Dr. Shin surprised Black Manta, which irritated him. Aquaman and Ocean Master headed to the location where Black Manta and his team were located, Devil's Deep. Arriving on the island, they were confronted with monstrous flora and fauna, resulting from mutations caused by an orichalcum furnace located in Black Manta's base. Aquaman reluctantly gave Ocean Master a cockroach, telling him to taste it to see if it was edible. Ocean Master, without hesitation, ate the cockroach. Dr. Shin, wanting to present the results of his research to Black Manta, was intrigued by the absence of the latter in his room. He was tempted to touch the trident. And when he did, he was electrified by a terrifying vision. Panicked, Black Manta surprised him by revealing his plan. Dr. Shin, scared with a knife to his throat, Black Manta revealed everything, including his desire to kill Aquaman and everything he loved, even if he had to make an alliance with the devil. Black Manta's eyes lit up, showing his determination and thirst for revenge.
You want to know my plan? Here it is. I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear. I will avenge my father, even if I have to make a deal with the devil to do it.
Arrived at Black Manta HQ. Aquaman and Master Ocean discussed how to stop Black Manta's process of warming the planet. However, Dr. Shin pointed a gun at them, revealing that the ship was designed to kill Atlanteans. He then surrendered, stating that he was fascinated by the Atlantean world despite his collaboration with Black Manta, and that he regretted this collaboration. Before he could reveal everything about Black Manta, an explosion occurred. And a fight broke out. Master Ocean tried to kill the weakened Stingray, but Black Manta intervened.
No one
hits my brother, but me.
And Aquaman and Master Ocean had to confront him. Master Ocean managed to touch Black Manta's weapon, the Black Trident, and was enlightened by a vision of Black Manta's plans. The latter then projected him with his laser. Nereus was furious that Master Ocean did not return to prison after helping Aquaman locate Black Manta, but Aquaman explained that it was only because of Master Ocean that they were still alive. Then Master Ocean related, "When I touched the Black Trident, I saw the Lost Kingdom, of which the Seventh Kingdom was erased from the Chronicles." Nereus asks him to prove it, to which Master Ocean responds by exposing his visions. Master Ocean explains that during the reign of the Atlantean king, Atlantis was made up of 8 united kingdoms, shining under the scourge of the Black City. Necrus became a superpower through the mining of orichalcum, but this resulted in the pollution of Necrus land and sea, as well as the corruption of the mind of the tyrant who ruled over that kingdom. His own brother Atlan implored him to stop using orichalcum before the world was ravaged, but Kordax loathed Atlan, believing his brother wanted to steal his power. He then used black magic to form an evil instrument, the Black Trident, and transformed his people, as well as himself, into monsters in order to fight Atlantis and his brother. A war broke out between the two brothers, and ultimately, Atlantis defeated Necrus. Atlan imprisoned his brother Kordax and his entire army of monsters with a spell sealed by his own blood to ensure that Kordax's power was never regained. Thus, Necrus was erased from the Chronicles. It is said that the Trident was intended to be hidden forever, but Black Manta found it and took possession of its mind. Returning to Atlantis, Atlantis will say that the key to Kordax's release is Atlantean blood, which will come from the royal lineage. And she will say that Black Manta is going to attack the most vulnerable of the royal family, in this case Aquaman's son. Taken by fear, Aquaman will say,
"No, we're not."
Tom Curry watching television with his grandson, the power will be cut. Curious to turn the power back, Black Manta in the shadows stabbed Tom Curry. Then, after kidnapping Arthur Jr., leaving Tom Curry seriously injured, he disappeared into the darkness. Aquaman's family arrived to save and protect their grandson Arthur Jr., but came too late and see Tom Curry injured. Mara shouted, "Where's Jr.? Where's Jr.?" And everyone cried out in anguish, "No! No! No!" Tom Curry was hospitalized thanks to Atlantean technology. Dr. Shin, witnessing the scene, saw Black Manta possess the Black Trident with a baby. Understanding the gravity of the situation, he sent a signal to the Atlanteans from where he was with Black Manta's team. Nereus informed Aquaman that they had received a signal from Antarctica, emanating from an old ship. Before heading towards Necrus' hiding place, which the Atlanteans discovered with the help of Shin, Atlantis, the mother of the two brothers, brought the two men together, making them promise to protect each other and bring back their grandson. Together, Aquaman's team developed hypothetical strategies to attack, neutralize, and defeat Black Manta and his team. Aquaman, thanks to his power, attacked, calling on all the aquatic animals to attack Black Manta's team's sea vessel. Stingray, panicked, asked her team to be ready by initiating the ship's charge. Subsequently, the aquatic animals, thanks to the power of Aquaman, sent electrical waves to sterilize the team and the Atlantean ship, causing an explosion inside the ship. Black Manta arrived with Dr. Shin to the place where Kordax has been sealed for centuries by his brother Atlantean king. Aquaman's army was attacked by Kordax's sea monsters. Nereus will be attacked by a sea monster who begs Master Ocean for help. The latter taking his time to observe it. Will it end up helping him? Master Ocean's action will push Nereus to trust him more, this time giving him a weapon to fight with. Black Manta ordered Dr. Shin to hand over Arthur's child. Black Manta discovered a bomb in the bag which will explode. Meanwhile, Aquaman and his army faced a vast army of monsters. Dr. Shin, seeking to escape with Arthur Jr., was attacked by Black Manta, who projected an electric current at him. As Black Manta prepared to sacrifice Arthur, the baby sent waves to his father, telling him where he was. Black Manta, determined to sacrifice Arthur with his knife, was stopped by Aquaman, who threw his spear of Atlantis at him.
Get away from my son!
Triggering a fight. Kordax, through Black Manta, attempted to kill Aquaman, but Mera prevented him by freezing him. Aquaman and Mera were relieved to find their baby safe and sound. However, Black Manta, seeing his impending defeat, threw his spear at Mera, but Master Ocean stopped him just in time. Unfortunately, Master Ocean was later possessed by Kordax's arc and electrified by visions. Kordax used Master Ocean's grudge against Aquaman to inspire him to fight his brother. Possessed by the arc, Master Ocean then engaged in a fight against Aquaman. Master Ocean punched Aquaman, knocking him onto the board. Then he dealt him another blow, and Aquaman's blood broke the spell that had imprisoned Kordax for millennia. Enraged, Aquaman confronted his brother Master Ocean, attempting to reason with him by reminding him of their best times. But Kordax encouraged Ocean to resist. However, Aquaman's words eventually had an effect on Ocean, who left him with the spear. Kordax, barely released from his 1,000-year-old prison, was targeted by Aquaman with a black trident, but he stopped him in the air. However, Aquaman launched a new attack with the real Atlantean trident, which exploded the black trident. With Kordax's magic fading, Necros began to crumble. Meanwhile, Black Manta, hanging from a crack, refused Aquaman's help and threw himself off the cliff to his death. The Atlanteans and Dr. Shin escaped to safety, and Mera thanked Shin. Aquaman as king announced to Master Ocean, his brother, that his debt was forgiven, allowing him to leave and hide, making the rest of Atlantis believe that he was dead, on the condition that he remained hidden. Nereus agreed to this decision. Master Ocean thanked Aquaman and complimented him, saying that the Atlantean people were lucky to have him as their king, and that Aquaman was everything he was not. He added that Aquaman chose good even if it complicated his life, and that he knew how to ask for help, even from his worst enemy, and follow his instincts. Master Ocean then projected himself into the sea.